Classy. With me, Yasmin Nursabilillah Putri.
And me, Lulu, Fadlina, Hanifa.
And me, Firda, Fajria, Rosida.
We would like to talk about Indonesia, our beloved country. So, enjoy the video!
Indonesia is a big country located in Southeast Asia, made up of more than 17,000 islands with over 1.9 million square miles of land, which makes it the fourth largest country. Indonesia has a big population estimate at 2763 million in 2019, with Java as the most populous island. 5 religions are confirmed as official religion: Catholic, Christian, Buddhist, Hindu, and Islam. And Islam is the religion with most adherents. Indonesia is highly diverse, comprised of over 300 different ethnic groups. It is a nation of contrast and rich cultures, with influence derived from a mix of Chinese, European, Indian, and Malaysian.
Indonesia is an archipelago which has thousands of islands in it, and I will explain the overview of the Indonesian state from various aspects. The geographical condition of a country will have a clue about the country's location on the surface of the earth. Indonesia, as an archipelago country, has a geographical position in the world cross position between two continents, namely Asia and Australia, and between two oceans, namely the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. Indonesia is strategically positioned for the trade channel. The condition of Indonesia, which is also an archipelago country, makes Indonesia has a lot of diversity, both in terms of regional characteristics and in terms of culture. Aspect of population, Indonesia is a country that has a large population. This could be a strength for Indonesia because the population is a very important element in the life and the development of a country, especially related to national development. If the large population is not matched by good quality, it is not impossible that it will actually disturb national security. In general, population problems faced by Indonesia are related to the relatively high population growth rate, relatively low quality of the population, mainly related to education and skills, as well as limited jobs that increase unemployment, many crime acts, and poverty. Indonesia, when viewed from an economic aspect, the current state of the economy in Indonesia is still unstable. The exchange rate of the rupiah against the dollar has risen. Prices of staples have risen, and jobs have caused less problems for the people of Indonesia. Indonesia must be able to face the challenges posed by economic globalization and can make economic globalization an opportunity. With stronger competition and multinationalization, strong collaboration between the government and the community is needed to be more active, creative, and innovative in creating jobs and creating a new product that is not inferior to quality and price with foreign products. Indonesia, when viewed from the aspect of education and culture, that education is an absolute requirement to make a country a strong country. In developed countries, higher levels of the education and knowledge can provide better economic development, welfare, education, and basic education programs. 9 years compulsory education in Indonesia must be further improved, and its implementation must be carried out. Character education is very necessary in Indonesia as an implication of globalization, which is feared to erode the personality of the Indonesian nation, which in turn is feared to weaken Indonesia. Political conditions in Indonesia are very alarming. Officials are still busy taking care of their office chairs. The Indonesian people haven't felt the good performance of the Indonesian government, instead making them look back toward politics itself. So the Indonesian generation must be introduced the real politics so that in the future they can become a new generation that is more responsible, that the condition of this nation doesn't continue to deteriorate due to the political irresponsibility of current officials. We should fix this nation because if this condition continue to be cultivated, then it is not impossible if one day the name of Indonesia is only history. So, in line with the progress of increasingly modern times, the younger generation must prepare themselves as the next generation and generation of fighters who aren't only required to be skilled, intelligent, and competitive. Indonesia needs young people who are brave, loyal, and responsible. Indonesia needs young people who aren't just bullshit, but youth who can hold every word that comes out of their mouths.
And then how to overcome the crisis of capitalism in the threat of this capitalism crisis. Then what should the government do? If we agree that we need a structural reading of the crisis problem, then we must do a structural response also to the crisis condition. What is mean by structural response? Structural response is a response where the government has a critical position toward imperialism. The condition under which the economy is made are very dependent on the dynamic that exists outside the Indonesian state. This must be seriously challenged, and this can only be done if the government has the political power that is qualified to oppose the foreign economic forces that are outside. The first thing to do is we start by limiting debt. Foreign debt has begun to be encouraged to be limited because the effect of the increase in the value of the dollar on debt will have an impact on the ability of the state to manage the country's finance. Then the second thing is to start pushing the idea of capital control. So far, we see that we treat foreign capital into Indonesian without control. Then can easily go in and out. But if we are in a crisis, we must ensure that those who invest here, especially investing in land, must go to the interest of the Indonesian state. Surely they must follow the rules where when they carry out economic activities, they cannot harm national economic interests. And for the third, it's quite important to exercise control over foreign investment in the sense of foreign direct investment. Foreign money that enter Indonesia to make factories, industries, and other must have implication for Indonesia's economic transformation. So far, we see that investment will create a better economy, but in reality, we can see how from the time of the new order until now, incoming foreign investment did not change the Indonesia economy. Our economy is still dominated by an agrarian economy. There is also a technology-based economy that we need. How is a high technology based? and that require the transfer of technology. If we want a change in which our industry is no longer just import or export, then that we need a form of industry that is highly competitive and that can only be met by a high technology economy. In the midst of a crisis, the government must think about how they control foreign investment, so that those who invest have implication for technology transfer in Indonesia. That's the level of government. Then, what should be done by social movement? For me, the effort to resist the imperialist relation is to be supported by democratic forces. Without democratic forces, it is certain that those who will support the anti-imperialist agenda will place their economic interest in the sense of the prevailing oligarchy structure, will carry their own agenda to save them in crisis economy. I see the need for a more programmatic struggle from social movement related to responding to a crisis economy. It means that there is already a struggle to carry out redistribution agendas from the state to the general public. For example, BPJS Health. So far, we see BPJS doing health service for the community. It has begun to be changed. He must be under the responsibility of the government in the sense of being able to guarantee public health service for all of his government's financial guarantors. But what is applicable as long as BPJS is semi-private institution whose financial depends on itself? And we find that people have been experiencing difficulties in health service even though they are constitutionally and also legally guaranteed to be entitled to health service. No wonder many poor patients were exploited. Many people experience direct service delay. And for me, this is agenda that must be fought by social movement. If social movement are still limited to advocacy, resistance without orientation, or the other of a program can be ascertain the effect of the possibility of a crisis that will occur later cannot be responded systematically by social movement. And finally, the victim are the people as a whole, because there is no longer any possibility of state power to protect them from attack or threat of the economic crisis of capitalism.
Indonesia is a country that contains great economic potential, a potential that has not gone unnoticed to part of the global community. Indonesia, Southeast Asia's largest economy, contains a number of characteristics that put the country in a great position for newly advanced economic development. Indonesia's economy will be more advanced if it was balanced with a good education system that is more focused in developing talents and potential of each individual. Nowadays, in Indonesia, all citizens must undertake 12 years of compulsory education, which consists of 6 years at the elementary level and 3 each at middle and high school levels. But I think the system is not going very well. It has too much lesson and doesn't make enough development for students. Students would be led to focus on their passion. There should be more focus at the high schools because these 3 years are maximalist for them to focus on their passions. Also, some students wonder to have their college. They might be thinking about getting jobs early would be better than going to college. Somehow, going to college would spend a lot of money. Indonesian in economic average is in middle to low. A first child in a middle economic family would like to spend their time for making money after graduate from high school because she or he has an obligation to pay their sister or brother education and life costs. In the other hand, students get more focused on their passion in the university. So I think if you just stop after graduate from the high school and not going to develop your skill and passion, you are not ready yet for the real competition. No, I don't say you should go to college. You can improve your skill outside the class. Maybe take a course or try to find a job that belongs to your skill. Yeah, Indonesia has this problem too. A job is not going to be good if it's not gonna be good if the worker not in the patient at his or her job. Example, a person is graduate at literature bachelor. Example, a person is graduate at literature bachelor program, but she or he get job in the bank as accountant. I think what she or he learned at college is not apply for her or his job. Let the expert express at their expertise.